Hey everybody, we are live. What's up, Steve? Welcome to Crown Council. Hey,
what's up,
man? That was perfect timing. You joined us.
It was
instantly right before we went live. So
that's
hey,
it.
The show. You are not in Texas. Tell us where you are.
All right, so I am in Boston, Massachusetts today. So we're doing our TOPS Total Immersion course, and I have two of my favorite people on the planet with me. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can zoom in. So Dr. Stephen Spitz, who's been part of our Crown Council TOPS family for decades, and Dr. Mike Shalaba, both from Boston. And, you know, Mike we figured well over 15 years. And what's really, so they're both here at Total Immersion today. Bam, bam. And Dr. Spitz is the incoming president of the Massachusetts Dental Association.
Oh, nice.
And Dr. Shalaba leads the dental board. What do you call it here?
The chairman of the dental board.
He is the chairman of the policeman. And so we got the power base of the entire state of Massachusetts in dentistry sitting right here in this room, which is so cool. And I've known these guys for a long time. So we're just coming back from lunch, so we got just a minute, but I wanted to just take a minute. I'm going to switch places so you guys can be here. But both Mike and Stephen are really at the center of the whole insurance, everything dental insurance. We've talked about this before, Stuart, but Massachusetts passed some legislation last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
The vote we brought it to the public and had, we called it question 2. It was an MLR ballot, which was, and 72% of our population here voted to institute this.
And basically what it is that dental insurance companies have to abide by the same standard that they set for medical insurance, which is 83%. Is that right? 83% of premium has to go towards patient care. And that whole initiative, the spokesperson for all that when you got it passed was Andrew Tonelli, who's also another.
It was actually Mo Riscala was the
money behind it. Yeah.
Well, he was the guy that actually wrote the bill. He was the guy that started the process, but he knew that he couldn't do it alone. And so he wanted to make sure he got organized dentistry involved. And so he not only went to the Mass Dental Society and got us involved, but he also went to the ADA, and we got states all over the country that said, hey, this is great. This is going to make a difference for dentistry, and it's going to make a difference for our patients, nationwide. And we got this passed.
ADSO was involved. ADA.
All right. So I'm going to put you guys on the spot here real quick. So Dr. Shalaba gets to see the worst of the worst in dentistry because he's the chairman of the dental board. Sorry, so we didn't talk about this, but I'm going to have it. So your top 3 tips for staying out of trouble. If you're a dentist, what are the biggest mistakes you see they get? If they get in trouble, what gets them in trouble? How to stay out of trouble?
Number 1, build a relationship with the patient.
What a concept. And there's a great course you can go through. That was a good one. I did not cue him to do this. Okay.
Yeah, patients they don't want to write complaints or sue their friends. So be a friend, be a trustworthy individual to your patients. That's number one. Number two, do the right thing. Most of the time, patients understand if you're trying to do the right thing, that things don't always go well, and that's okay. It's the practice of dentistry. It's not perfection of dentistry. And then the third thing I would say is admit when the problems go wrong and take ownership. Patients appreciate that, and problems go away.
So well spoken.
Doesn't hurt to be a good record keeper too.
Yes, that's important. That's very important.
Yes. So biggest mistake in record keeping, what do you find is missing more often than not that creates a problem?
Lack of detail, or just the clinical note itself. Like sometimes it's forgotten, and if it's not written down, it didn't happen.
Say that again.
If it's not written down, it didn't happen.
There you go. So great
Smart.
advice. All right. So you both are working with hundreds of dentists all over the state of Massachusetts. If you were sitting down with a young dentist today, and we got some in this room, what would you tell them about the decision they made and the future of dentistry?
Best decision they ever made. Dentistry is the greatest profession ever, and we have so much to look forward to. And the bottom line is educate yourself, get a good team behind you, surround yourself with great people, and just enjoy what you're doing. Like, have fun.
Great
Amen.
advice.
Never stop learning. Never. And there's always somebody smarter in the room, so don't try to be the smartest one in the room. And be humble.
There you go. So 2 great mentors here, 2 of my favorite guys in dentistry, and really making a huge difference in their practices as well as in organized dentistry as well. So thanks for your leadership, guys, for being a great example of not just being a great practitioner, but making a difference in the industry.
Nice.
So with that, Stu, we're going to
Thank
go
you,
back
Steve.
to work here at Total
Okay.
Immersion and work on patient relationships.
Nice.
So yeah, we got a great group here from all over the Northeast, Maine, New Jersey, all over Massachusetts. Fun bunch. So
Yeah.
wish you all were here.
Thank you.
Having a blast.
Awesome, Steve.
All right.
Thanks
Thanks,
so
Stu.
much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys,
All right, have a
thanks.
super day.
Good to see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dang, dental powerhouse. That's fun.
Steven Spitz called me up
That-
one day and said, I got this almost new dental chair. I don't need it anymore. May I donate it to someone in need?
You may, Stephen.
And we got Henry Schein to box that thing up, and we shipped it to Dr. Patricia's dental office in the Dominican Republic, and she is
Wow.
still using it.
That's awesome.
Every time I see him, I think about that.
That's cool.
What a good guy. He is always about doing good.
Very good. Hey, well, we'll bring our next guest in. This is Colby Healy. So last week you met him in our Perio webinar, and it was a abbreviated greeting with Colby. And we wanted to bring him in to spend just a little more time talking about what we shared last week on the webinar. So I thought, hey, let's do 20 minutes with Colby. We actually have 23 minutes with Colby now. This is great. To talk about some details from last week's webinar, which was our most popular webinar we've ever had amongst the membership and non-membership about some Perio solutions and Perio changes out there in the market. And Colby was a big part of that. And we thought we would highlight not only the product that he represents, but more importantly, the service that can be offered to patients through his great product. So Colby, welcome. But before you start, Greg, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how we connected with Colby and our relationship here as a resource partner? Do you want to go there?
Well, I'll tell you the challenge that we were given.
Okay.
We previously had a resource partner that was in the testing space.
Testing what? Wait, we didn't quite introduce what's going on. What are we testing?
Okay, we are saliva testing.
Okay.
And our goal is to be able to increase the knowledge of the dental practice in what is going on inside of the patient's mouth, as we know it is the window of wellness, and to be able to treat it, because we know that if there is low-grade infection in the mouth, that it can cause all kinds of problems, not just teeth problems.
Yes.
It can
And
cause
and that's really
orthopedic
what that's what
problems.
our webinar was about last week.
That was what the webinar was about. And we had a challenge with the current testing that a lot of Crown Council members used. And so my charge was, first of all, to find a test that could be shipped without it having to be done that same day, shipped overnight, and refrigerated. Second one is that our members did not want to purchase the tests in advance.
Right.
The third was they didn't believe they were receiving sufficient data. The fourth was that the customer service that they were receiving was, what can I say that's kind? Not at the top, not at the level with which we have become accustomed, and that some of the data being received was inconsistent. That is, some of our guys tested 2 different tests, same patient sent the tests in, got different results. And third was a more competitive price. That is how I got introduced.
I don't know if you were at 3. I think you were like on 5 right there. I don't know if we were on 3.
6. I got 6 things. And
Okay.
and Colby's going to tell us a little more about it. But aside from the fact that he's a good guy and we only do business with guys we like, he checked all 6 of those boxes.
Yeah.
And so I've said probably more than I should, Colby. I
I'm really nervous to live up to this hype.
but I mean, I am a raving fan of Simply Perio, and take it from there. Did
Yeah,
I do
no.
okay, Stu? I mean,
No, that was good. That was good.
that
I
was my
just
charge.
I think
Maybe
that
you can now answer the questions.
no, people are going to be very I know that Colby last week might have even not cut short, but I know you had more to say on our webinar. So Colby, maybe we just turn it to you, and I know you've got some prepared, and also we're going to share your screen, right? Some
Yeah, I can do that as well.
okay, let's do it.
No, I think the key thing here, let me just go ahead and share the screen. It's disabled for right now. Do you want to get it enabled?
Yeah. DJ will disable that.
Okay. But I can talk to it right now. Just kind of the things that Greg talked about. I think overall, when we talked to Greg and talked to going into Crown Council, the value proposition that we wanted to bring to you as a dentist is one question that I ask the dentist that I go speak to on a regular basis. What tool do you have in your toolbox that changes your customer's behavior? And it's a question I ask them, and they often come back with, well, we do cleanings, we'll do the perio, we'll do depth charts, we'll just do everything we can to make sure that their overall health and wellness is good. And I asked them, like, okay, so everything you've done so far is on a visual basis. Some will do it, some have done saliva testing, but it's not giving them the full really realm of what's going on in their mouth. And so I give them the challenge of, normally there's a statistic in medicine that 80% of the changes or treatments are done after lab testing. And so the question I've asked them, are you doing saliva diagnostic testing? Because if not, you're not really truly understanding what's going on in the mouth. Only by doing the saliva diagnostic test or a test in itself, you'll be able to understand truly what's going on in the mouth and truly understand what's causing the issues. Why is there irritation to the gums? Why are they having deep pockets? What's going on truly with this patient, the overall health and wellness of the patient. And so one of the slides that I wanted to share, and it's not coming up still, Stu, but it's fine. I can just speak to it. One of the main things and sayings that my team has is oral health is a medical problem with a dental solution. I couldn't say, I think that says it best. The overall health and the oral health of your patient is it's our duty and diligence. Our practice has to take care of that patient. It's not just going to their doctor, it's going to the dentist. And like I told Stuart and Greg the other day when we were speaking, I gave them some truths about me. I go to my dentist 10 times more often than I go to my regular doctor. My dentist I consider a good friend, and I really, truly trust everything that they tell me. Whereas when I go to my doctor, I'm like, it sounds good. Let's go ahead and stick with what we're doing. But overall, that's kind of the wellness and behavior I think that we have to have for the patients and for the dentist, our patients as a whole. And that's the one thing I would tell you when I go to sell you this. I'm not selling it as a doctor. I'm selling you this as a patient. This is something that I've educated myself on because of what we do and how we offer it. And so that's the value added benefit of it. I kind of want to just start off with speaking about, well, some of the things Greg talked about. Greg talked about the offer that we have out to you guys is what we're going to do is we'll have the saliva test sent to you. Once you sign up, you'll get 24 of these kits. They'll come in a case. In that same case, you'll have a welcome packet. In that welcome packet, you'll get 30 of these chairside guides, just cards that as your hygienists are working or if someone has time to wait, we just hand them a card, let them read more about it, let them understand and educate themselves so they can speak to it.
Okay, you should be able
We'll
to
have-
Colby.
Yeah. Does
You
it
should be
work?
able to share your screen. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Colby, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
You said you were going to ship 24 of those kits.
that's correct.
And where is the invoice for those 24?
Well, that's the beauty of it, Greg. I think the reality of it is for us as a team and understanding what the dentists want, we don't want to put that burden on the dentist. We want it to be something that we reconcile afterwards. So what happens is we'll send you these 24 kits. You'll get a welcome packet with it. And then what happens is as you register the kits in the provider portal, and I'll go in and show you that, but as you register them and not until it results back to you as a doctor or for the patient to report, your patient report then will be charged and we'll bill you at the end of the month, at the end of the week. So every Friday you'll get billed for every test that's reported back from the lab.
Nice.
Yeah, okay, so we got to go through 6 things. That's
Yeah,
one
that's
out of
one.
1 for me.
Good, one
I
thing.
got one.
Okay.
Okay, Colby, keep going, keep going.
No, I think it's great. And so this is that statement that we talked about. And really, one of the questions that often gets asked, Greg, is, well, who do I test? What do I want to do as far as testing? And who do I want to test? I have a slide here I wanted to kind of speak to. Really, the obvious answer here, and we'll go through some of these later, but the obvious answer is test everyone. Because truly, we don't know what's going on. It's just like a cardiologist is going to draw my blood when I go in to see if I have high blood pressure and see if anything else is going on in my body. They're going to draw blood and do a lab test. Same thing we need to do at the dentist. We need to take a draw of saliva, send it in, and really truly understand what's going on with the mouth. It's the patients that are getting the root canals. Anything else that's going to be a post or restorative care, I would for sure do it too, because then you know how the mouth's going to react. If you're pulling a tooth out, if you're doing an implant, anything on that aspect of it as well. So I think that's a general question we get quite often, Greg, is who do we test? I would say test everybody. And then to speak to that a little bit further on is, well, they ask, okay, who do we test? Well, we test everybody. Well, how often? I think that question comes back to the results. You're going to see different results for different patients. I've got a sample report right here that we can go over and show you. This is one thing that this is going to mark number 2, Greg, for you as well. Talking about the pathogens that we're looking for. We have a total of 16 pathogens. You have the 9 for perio. We have also the caries and then yeast, the fungal, and then also the viral. So as you see these, you're going to have the 16 pathogens total. And we get asked quite a bit by dentists, well, why the viral? And that's a key importance. I think the question there really is to show you what other infections your body is fighting. It's not to show you that you have herpes or that, because most dentists aren't going to treat it, but it gives them an indication why there's a higher infection in the mouth, because the body's immune system's not able to go and fight. Say they have AA. AA is going to be more rampant because they're testing high for other infections. Does that answer 2 of them, Greg?
Mm-hmm.
You did good. The one that we might do right now is you just did the test,
Yeah.
and now I gotta go pack it in cold stuff and call UPS so that they're
Yeah.
there by 4 o'clock, I'm sure, to keep it stable.
Well, that's a good question, Greg. We'll make it super simple. I'll show you the test in a whole really quick. This is the test you're going to get. It'll come in a shrink wrap. You just pull the sleeve off. As you notice, there's going to be a label already pre-applied, Greg. That's going to take care of it for the shipping back. That's going to be USPS back to our lab. So the US Postal Service. And the reason that's important and why you said that we don't have to cold chain store it is in our device, there's a preservation buffer. So in that, so when you do this test, you're gonna have two things inside the kit. You're gonna have a saline rinse, and then you're gonna have our device. So what I do is I'll just typically take the patient. I'm not gonna give you this solution on the live webinar, but I want to just show you what it is that you'll do. They'll take this, they'll rinse the saline for 20 to 30 seconds, really agitating the gums. They're then going to take the device.
Colby, that is a good thing though, because I've done this test before and you just are sitting in the chair trying to produce like a giant logie and it just does not work. It's
No,
so
that's-
nice to have the rinse.
Yes, that's the value of it. We had that. One of the things we found out early on is that rinse is going to aid in collecting the saliva because
Yeah.
we did millions and millions of saliva tests with Ancestry and other groups. And so we kind of learned early on in our studies, it's important to make it easy. And obviously the time at the patient chair side, there's very limited time there. So they'll swish for 20 seconds, then they'll spit into the tube. And once they spit into the tube, they take the funnel off and you're just going to take this cap. The cap has a preservation buffer. They'll just screw it down and you'll see that blue buffer drops into the tube.
Nice.
As soon as that buffer is dropped, everything is stabilized. And also the one thing you'll know, Greg, is that also takes the snapshot of what bacteria is in the mouth at the time of collection. So if you have to go cold chain ship one, you're going to still sit it on the counter. It's going to get to room temperature. It's going to grow bacteria. Whatever bacteria is in there can grow. It's not going to give you the immediate snapshot. This will stabilize everything from the time of collection to the time it gets back to our lab. And to kind of give you a little bit more information on that, this is the same preservation buffer that stores DNA for up to 5 years. So that just kind of shows you the stability of it. So we have data up to 5 years at room temperature for DNA. So, I mean,
So
it's
Colby,
really
this is your
robust.
very first product you've ever done, right?
Yes. It's got us into it.
Except for the million tests you've
No,
done
this is
for
not
oral
a first
DNA
product.
and
We've done millions and millions of at-home collection kits and business to business as well. So
yeah.
you just simply take that tube, put it in the bag, and then you literally just stick it back in the box, seal the box and shut it. And the nice thing is, Greg, that just goes in the front desk by the USPS pickup. They come every day to drop off mail. They come every day to pick it up. So they're going to take this and take it back, and that'll go to our lab. The typical transit time and return time from the lab is about a week. So you're going to get results within a week. Usually it's about 2 to 3 days in shipping, and then it's resulted within 24 to 48 hours return at the lab. So that's going to give you the turnaround time.
Colby, can you talk for a minute about, I know we mentioned this at the webinar, that in the shipment of kits that they get, there are some free, I guess what you would classify as free tests. Can you talk
no, it's
about
great.
what a Crown Council team can do with those?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a couple of options for each Crown Council member. I would recommend you test some of your patients. I would recommend you use those for your hygienists. I think it's good for the hygienist to truly understand what they're offering and how they use it. And I want them to see the ease of use for it. And that's why we offer the 5 free tests. So the first 5 tests, whether you use them on the hygienist or a patient, it's the same thing. It's no charge. So that first case, you're only going to get charged for the 24. But really, Greg, like you talked about earlier, you're only going to get charged as you use them. So we want to see you using them. We're going to give you also a dedicated account manager. So you'll have a dedicated sales rep and you'll also have a dedicated account manager. And the whole purpose of the account manager is to give you that personal touch. We want you to, if you have questions, to be able to reach out via email or phone call, either way. So that way, if you have a question on a test, hey, where are my results? You can look in the portal, but if they're not there and you have a question still, please reach out to us. We want to make sure that the experience is a good experience for all of you. But that's what you can do with those 5 free tests. You're able to utilize them for your office staff, test yourself if you want as the dentist. But I would recommend definitely having the hygienist, the ones that are going to be performing the test, take it and utilize those tests.
Well, I think more than anything too, you know, Steve and I recorded a skill of the week this week that one of the most compelling marketing advantages that a practice has is doing the work yourself.
Yep.
And I would say when you get these tests that you definitely should test each other, go through the process of what it means to get the results, look online, and then even the treatment if it's needed. I think that's a real key and smart thing to do as a practice to walk a patient through, is
No.
knowing how it's done yourself. So very good.
I completely agree. And I think obviously we understand here at Simply Perio, really the true value of time. And that's kind of what I wanted to just briefly show you, just the provider portal. We'll
Okay.
just do a quick video of it. I'll show you a quick little snippet of it. I wanted to go over and show you what it looks like, just so that everybody can see what it is and how easy it is to use and really register the test kits. So let me just go ahead and minimize that. So you'll just go to our website, you'll log in. Once you log in, if you have an order in there, say we wanted to go place the order I just took as a sample, Stuart.
Okay.
We'll take that, we'll go to orders, and then simply just create a new order. You're gonna click the drop down. There's only one test you're gonna choose from. You'll tap in the sample ID. All of these tubes will have a sample ID as well as on the top of this device itself. So they'll type in that sample ID and just type it in. On there, once that's typed in, there's only 5 things we need from them. We need their first name for the patient, the last name. So we'll just do test, last name, sample. Helps if I can spell. And then just a birth date. And then we're going to just pick the sex, female, male, or unknown, depends on what they are. And then just the patient email. And right now, this patient email, you can do the office email. It's not going to email them. There's soon to be a feature to where you can actually email the results to your patients. That feature should be out in about a month. And so if you want to share the results after you've done the consultation with the patient, you can do that as well. And then they'll just select the provider name, and then they'll just click create order. And then what that does, it'll create the order. Oh, I have to do about email. Let me just do my own. It does check that. So once you've done that, you'll create the order, and then you'll see in the provider portal, they'll see the orders list up here. Once that's in there, you'll see the order, you'll see the status and the order of what's in there. This is going a little slower than normal, as always, when someone else is watching.
Well, it's because you're sucking a lot of bandwidth talking to us.
But you'll see the test, you'll see the patient, you'll see the sample, and you'll see a status. That status is going to change as it gets through the process. So right now, as I entered it, it's going to be an open status. And then once it goes from open, it's going to go to in the lab. So it's received at the lab. They'll accession it, and then it'll be resulted. And then you'll be able to actually click on that, and there'll be a report in here. Obviously, there's no report yet for this one, but they'll have a report here once you get it back, and that'll go back to the sample report that I was showing you earlier. So you would see something similar to what I had showed you on this right here. That would be the report. They'd have the patient name. Here's the before report. And this is a sample of someone that we took and ran some tests here with doing some different mouth rinses and different things on our own studies. And here's a before, and then here's an after. So, I mean, you can see the TF went down, and really the FA went down as well. But this is what's going to be important for you as a dentist. It gives you a clear snapshot, and it's going to be a quantitative result. That's one thing I forgot to mention when showing this, Stu, is this is a quantitative result. So you're going to get the actual level you're at. And so if you do treatment and then you retest, you're going to see the difference, not just in a slider, but you're going to see that in an actual number. So if you were at 1,000 before and you're down to 500, obviously what you're doing to change and bring that infection down is working. And so you'll see that and get the success from there.
Hey, let's if it's okay, wrap up with ordering.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
What?
We've only checked 5 of my 6 boxes.
Oh,
No,
what's
you're the
left?
two.
What's
Let's get 'em
left?
going. I want to make sure we hit
What's
them.
left?
Price.
Oh yeah, great.
Good
Right.
question, Greg. I appreciate that. So
I want to, this is just so outstanding.
yes. So our price is $90 for each test, and that $90 includes the shipping to you and also the shipping to the lab. So it's just a flat $90. We have offices that do it as a straight pass-through when they do the test, and then we have offices that charge up to $150. Really, it's up to you as what you want to do with your practice, but really the benefit of this is going to bring other business to you as you run these tests. You're going to see you need to do cleanings, root planing, and scaling. It'll teach you as you go what you need to do, and it's going to bring the business in to cover that cost.
Nice.
I
So-
think too, and one of the things that we have talked about together, Stu, I think you mentioned this when we were together, is that one of the skills that we teach is to remember what you told the patient the last time they were in the chair and be sure that you are following through with those things when they get back into your chair. Otherwise, they think you don't care. They're sitting in the chair and you say, hey, we really needed to fix blah, blah, and you didn't get it done, didn't have time to do it.
Doesn't matter.
Then if you don't bring it up, they don't think it matters. Well, if I've got a test in front of me and you're treating me, you can easily the retesting becomes a follow through that is very natural.
Right.
I like to check boxes. Here's my test. I want to check the boxes and be sure that all those little red guys are green guys.
Right. And I think as you see that, Greg, you're going to see as you go, you want to know as yourself, if you're doing a treatment, how is my treatment working as a patient?
Okay, I just want to know I did my job at 6 out of 6.
Oh yeah, great job.
Thank
6
you.
out of 6.
Thank
He
you.
got
very
his
much.
You get all
list.
6 boxes?
Yep.
We checked them all.
Okay. Well, for you guys, just the one way to get signed up, there's a little QR code right at the bottom of this screen. That QR code will take you to a new customer form. That information will come back to me. I will reach out to you. We'll get an onboarding set up. We'll ship out your first case of 24. It's
Nice.
super simple. There's not much needed. It'll take you about 5 minutes to fill out. And we'll get you up and going and running on Simply Perio.
Nice. QR code works. I just used it. Ready to go. Okay. Okay, Colby, thanks. We hope that this is
Really appreciate it.
you bet. I hope this is like a kickoff of a great partnership relationship with you. And not only that, but I think Greg said it at the beginning, being the forefront of patient health care. What a great step this is as Crown Council will lead the way in making sure that it's about patient health. So thank you.
Very much.
I have one more thing.
Nope.
Which
done.
one of you two guys told me how much spit I swallow every day?
Oh,
I-
that's disgusting.
That was from
Who
our
was
UCLA
that told
study.
me that?
I did.
Okay. What was
And
it? Like-
We did a
like-
study with UCLA and we found the average human swallows 1.5 liters of saliva.
So-
okay, so
Stuart, start drinking.
Yeah. It's just ooh.
so we got all this infection in our mouth and we're
Right.
wondering why it matters. That's a lot of stuff going into your system every day.
Right. In the last webinar, we talked about the Alzheimer's effect. It's good. It's real. It's not just something that we're giving you. It's something that's real. There's studies to it. There's peer reviews. There's a lot of information about periodontal disease. We have a lot of information and tools on our website to help you as you help the patients. There's a chairside guide that's going to give you those tools you need to be successful.
You're a good man, Colby. Thank you.
Thanks, Colby.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's a classic no-brainer.
That is free is good.
Well, and I also think that what an incredible service to provide a patient. So that's great. Hey, we have one more guest that's joining us today. This is kind of a fun new thing. So Studio Gale, and I don't want to introduce them before they are in with us because our connection with Studio Gale is I think it's fun. It's different. It's interesting. Came to us from the annual event. So I'll just wait for them to unmute themselves. You guys there? Rebecca, Corbett?
We got a good picture.
Yeah, they're awesome. Let's see if I can ask them to. Oh, I'm not in charge. So you guys there? Oh, here they go. Okay, great.
There they
Hey, yo,
Hey.
what's up? I said I told everybody I didn't want to introduce you because I think the story is kind of fun. So
Oh, come on now.
it's a fun story. So I actually at the last annual event, you guys were there.
Yeah.
Sitting in the audience,
Love it.
and our main stage speaker, Amy Purdy, introduced. She like points to you guys and then says, "If anybody wants to do business with them," and we were sitting there like, "What is going on? This is very good."
What do they do?
Yeah, what did they do?
What's happening? Yeah,
But we've connected, and then I know you've talked to Steve since the annual event.
definitely.
So what a fun thing. So this is Rebecca and Corbett Gale. They run Studio Gale, and I'm not exactly sure where are you guys broadcasting from today.
Well, we're located in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Okay, in Austin, right? So that's where we were. We were in your
Go
hometown.
down the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
was so crazy is that she's like, hey, I'm giving a speech in Austin to the dental community. And you guys designed for the dental community.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of good synergy. So we were happy to be there.
Stars
For sure.
aligned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did align.
Yeah.
So,
And it's awesome. So we love her.
I'll
Yeah.
let you guys introduce a little bit about what you do, but we do not have a resource partner, a business partner inside
Okay.
Crown Council. They are a design firm, and you guys have built over 1,000
Mhm.
dental offices, medical offices,
Yeah.
optical offices across the United States. And
Definitely.
what I love is that because you have done it so much,
Mhm.
you know what works. You know
Yeah.
how to collaborate with clients. You know how to collaborate with the architect, the builder, everything that's happening when it comes to building a practice and designing a dental practice. And so that's what I hope. I know that we had talked about, and I know you talked with Steve, maybe a bigger podcast series, but
Oh,
we
yeah.
got about 30, 25 minutes to talk
Okay.
about some of the basics.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
just touch the tip of the iceberg
Have to
today. for
talk
sure.
fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
Will
we
you- Will
Sorry,
you guys
go ahead.
will you just introduce, what did I miss? Will you introduce yourselves a little bit more?
Yeah, so we've been involved in the dental community from a design perspective for almost 22 years now. So it's been quite a while. In that timeline, we've touched on all sorts of types of doctors' offices, but we really do specialize in the dental community, from your general dentist all the way to orthodontist and your specialists. We do work all around the country, and
Mhm.
what we really try to do is we really think it's important to not over design a space. We really think that budget is an important thing to kind of consider in the design. And so our role over the years has been, how do we create the coolest, most amazing, interesting spaces based on the ultimate clientele of that doctor? You
Right.
don't want to over design it so that patients don't feel comfortable going there. And you don't want to under design it so they feel like that it's not necessarily up to their standards, so to speak. So it's kind of
Are you in the country
Yeah.
or are you in Dubai? It's just
Mhm.
like, or is that the vibe you want to give?
Yeah.
Everybody's so different. Every doctor is so different. So it's really interesting to
Mhm.
meet and go over their personality because we want to infuse personality into the office. This is your baby. This is your office. So we're there to infuse you into your new space and make it the best possible outcome that it can be,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So Studio Gale, that's what we do. We feel like we're a collaboration between our clients' ultimate vision and goals with the reality of permitting and codes and budgets
Yeah.
and things like that. So we kind of try to bridge the gap between all of those facets of either a remodel or a new office, and we kind of talk to the reality of how that process happens.
Mhm. Because there's a lot of technicalities with dental that are different
Mhm.
from other medical practices, as everyone kind of knows.
Yeah, you don't want to get your uncle who's a residential contractor to build your new dental office because
Okay.
and we've seen that. We've seen that.
That was going to be my first question, which is, I would assume that why? Like a lot of dentists are like, listen, I can do this. I know
Yeah.
why is this important to find someone like you?
Yeah, well, a dental office behind the walls, right? Where things
Right.
you don't really see is very complicated, right? There's a lot of integration of like air and vacuum, in some cases, med gas or nitrous. There's a lot of technology involved.
Mhm.
And then not only that, but how the space functions, right? Like inside the exam room itself is like, what are the spatial adjacencies that make your life more efficient, make your life easier to practice dentistry?
How do you want the lighting to be?
Yeah,
Just-
absolutely. Like what colors invoke a certain feeling to your
Mhm.
patients? Do we want kind of a dark, smoky kind of spa feel, or do we want a really light and airy space where people, when they walk in, their anxiety just disappears into the ether?
And it could be both ways, it's just what is your personality? How are you wanting to get across? Because you're wanting to speak to that patient as they're walking in before, you're actually sitting in the chair with them and speaking with
Mhm.
them. And just, talking about being in the chair. If you're in the chair, what are you looking up at? How does that feel? What does everything feel like? So
Has to do with first impressions. Patient walks in the door. What are they immediately presented with? Are they presented with an office that has a certain appeal to it? Are they presented with a dark kind of a cave space? Or is it something that invokes, like anticipation? Like,
Mhm.
oh, wow, this is a really nice extension of my living room at home. I all of a sudden feel at ease. I'm relaxed. My anxiety disappears.
Or how about we had a design and the doctors came to us and they said, hey, we have this design. And I was immediately like, no, no, no. because you had 3 feet before you ran into a wall, and then
Mhm.
you had to go around that wall to get to
Yeah.
the reception desk, which was like, is this the reception
Yeah.
desk? Is that, you know?
Yeah.
So it wasn't conducive to come on in and this is our space. And they were so vibrant that I was just like, we can't hit a wall. We can't, you know, it's just not good flow. And so we redid it. But, you know, one section was great that, you know, so we kept that section. So it's always different. It's always different.
There's a lot of parts when it comes to
Oh,
the creation of
yeah.
the space. Yeah, it's you know, you really need to have a good team around you of professionals and experts who know
Absolutely.
exactly what they're doing, and you'll wind up with the most amazing outcome if you do surround yourself with people who know what they're doing.
very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Gregor, any questions before I ask my next one? I don't want to hog all the questions.
No, you go ahead. You're doing great.
Okay. Okay, let's say you're gonna start a new build, you're gonna create a new office. What are some of the biggest challenges that face like the creation of a practice, the creation of a new space that are absolutely unknown to a dental professional? Things that they're like, oh, I didn't even think about that you guys now see every single time. Is there any like a top 5 list of challenges that you would recommend to a doctor to be aware of?
Yeah, so I would say that their biggest thing is location. Location, location, location. You've heard that adage before, and it's so important. You know, like what type of business are you opening and where makes the most sense? Do you base it on demographics and population that has a certain income level?
Mhm.
Do you base it on if there's no other doctors in that same demographic or area? And then on top of that is what can I afford? At this point in my career, you know, maybe you've been working in someone else's office for years and you're ready for your own. Do you do an interior build out? Or maybe you've been practicing for years and you're ready for your own real estate investment. So what you do is you need to really surround yourself with those professionals I mentioned. So a real estate broker who specializes in dentistry, a banker that specializes in dentistry, because they're going to help you create a budget that makes sense, because you're going to have to budget not only construction costs, but equipment costs and then working capital. How much?
So much.
Yeah. After I open this business, you know, I need some money so I can stay operational until I get all those clients in, those new patients.
And I may not be open for 2 weeks, but I have staff. I have to pay staff. You know, how does that work? Where do I put this staff? You know, like what about the furniture? What do they sit on? You know, so those are, you know, it kind of trickles down. It goes up to Corey and then trickles down to me.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of moving parts for sure.
Yeah. And of course, the fun part of all of this is doctors, they always start a Pinterest account. They're always like, okay, I'm dream phase. So let's really kind of cultivate a bunch of images that really dictate appeal to me. This is the office that I dream of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And we love and we encourage that, because what it does is it allows us to gain insight into what their vision is going to be. Because, you know, a good designer, what they try to do is interpret what's on their client's mind into something that's physical and actually buildable.
Very cool.
So that's another challenge, is like, you know, what is my vision and can I afford that?
Because also PS, some of those pictures on Pinterest are 3D modeled,
Fake,
you
they're
know,
not real. Yeah.
fake. And it's like, where can I get this? I was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
because this is, you know, came up in a model. So it's just things like that, you know, be a little bit wary of that, and with budget. So
And then like another interesting thing is, you know, we talked a little bit about construction earlier and contractors, is, you know, your timeline. How long from the time you start the process to when you're open for business? That makes a huge, huge impact on what you can afford.
right.
You know, sometimes there's parts in the country that the permitting process takes 3 or 4 months just to get a building permit.
Right.
And so during that time period, you're just kind of sitting around doing nothing, you know, but you can be very proactive. You can be talking to like dental equipment companies. You can be talking to IT technology specialists. You can really start putting your ducks in a row, talking to insurance companies and things like that. But we find that that is one of the biggest kind of trigger points for the timelines in a project. The design and engineering can be fairly quick, but permitting, you're just kind of feel like you're in this vortex of just waiting, this purgatory state, if you will.
Maybe you could be working on your budget, you
Yeah.
know, working
Yeah.
to refine your budget, because, you know, budgets, you know, get inflated and
Yeah.
come under control, you know, so that's a good time to do that.
And we also encourage our clients to work with a branding professional, someone that
Yeah.
can really create kind of a look and feel from the initial, from like their logo to their name of the company, something that invokes a bit of familiarity with your potential clientele. because we think that's a huge important part of the process is that
Yeah.
your brand. What image are you trying to convey before someone even walks in your front door?
It's so easy when you have branding and you come to us because we're like, oh, we get it. You know, like this is your brand. These are your
Yeah.
colors. This is what we're going for. And it makes it easy on the doctor because you have a plan. It's
Yeah.
not just, you know, anything goes. It's just we have a plan. So I love branding.
Yeah, it's just such a, I mean, it's a huge marketing tool, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
once you finish the design and the construction of your office, then your office all of a sudden becomes a marketing tool.
Yeah.
It becomes this space that's not only improves the look and the feel for your patients and your staff as well, right? The idea between a well-designed office is that you have you have longevity of staff retainage, right? So staff, when they're there, they look forward to going to work every
Yeah.
day.
Mm.
You as the business owner are proud of this office that you've created. You've gone through all of the process of creating it and understanding all the dynamics
The
and the fun.
flow is how you need it. to
Yeah.
be.
So your business, all of a sudden you've improved your business model and you're just
Mhm.
proud of this space. So that is a really, important thing on a good design kind of a role.
Excuse me.
That is crazy. That I was actually going to ask those two questions.
Oh, yeah,
Those,
right.
those are two questions you gave me, which was, how does design impact your team and how does design impact your patients? And you kind of touched on both of them. Anything else that you would add to either of those? I mean, I went for years to Dr. Roy Hammond's practice down in Provo, and Greg, you had been there. And then his son, Chris Hammond, redesigned the practice, opened a new space, brand new office. And I was like, I don't know if we needed a new practice. Like the old space was actually really nice,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
but the new space as a patient changed
Oh.
everything about my experience when I went to the practice, the way that it was designed and the way it looks, even the way it smells, the way it feels.
Oh, yeah.
Anything else, like how does what you guys do, how does it impact the patient's experience?
Well, we honestly like to feel like we have just a dramatic impact on patients, from a design perspective. But
We're helping.
yeah, the reality is that you could have the most beautiful office, but if your staff doesn't kind of mirror that same kind of image, the patient's going to be turned off or disconnected from the whole experience anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the design, it's about the whole patient experience. But we can speak from like when a patient walks in the front door, what does it do, right? The whole point of this marketing of your office is that it's called perpetual marketing. So it's almost bragging, right? So a patient walks in, they have this beautiful, amazing experience. Their anxiety is reduced. Your staff is amazing. And the office is just this harmonious place. They're going to tell all their friends. They're going to bring their family there. And all of a sudden,
Mhm.
even though you spent
Oh.
money at the beginning,
Mhm.
it's a perpetual marketing piece. It's like almost
Right.
like you're going to bring your generations of patients in there, your kids and their kids, et cetera. Also, good design embraces technology, which I know is
Mhm.
extremely important for dentists.
Mhm.
And we love technology. So it's always nice.
Nice.
Incorporate
Very cool.
that. It looks super cool a lot of times.
And
Yeah.
it always is adapting, right? There's a new kind of push now for 3D printing, right? It's like a really big push. And so labs where they were for a while really small are now growing in size again. And not only are they growing in size, but doctors want their patients to be able to see this technology. They want the patients to be
Mhm.
connected with this. It like almost is improving the quality of patient care. So when they
Yes.
tour the office, they're like, hey, here is the technology we utilize to improve the quality of patient care. We use cutting state-of-the-art 3D printing technology to make your life better.
But also with good design, you can see it, but you also know there may be a barrier there. So you don't need to go into the lab. Maybe you glimpse it. Maybe you
Mhm.
have a glimpse of that lighting or some sort of, new tech.
Yeah.
But you also know, okay, keep moving past, this is where you belong, sort of.
Yeah, we just
Don't
want to,
wander.
yeah, don't wander. Yeah.
Don't
I mean, even
wander.
when a patient walks in the door, they're handed an iPad. Please, check in over there and sit in our wonderful waiting area. Have yourself a beverage, coffee,
Right.
or water provided to you. So it's really all about the patients, how they feel when they walk in the door.
Mhm.
We want, and there's so much competition around you. So how do you set yourself apart from that?
Right.
You know?
You want it to be clean and cozy and welcoming. And like you said, your patient experience, you want it to
Mhm.
be good,
Yeah.
and I really enjoy the doctors that we work with because they're always trying, because they come to us, because they want good design. They have so much that they're going to do for their patients. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
I can
What is
inspire.
what is the sweet spot of Studio Gale? Is it primarily new construction? Or do you like remodel as much as you like new construction? Do you have a sweet spot?
Well, I could say that at least for the people who contact Studio Gale, I would say there's more like 90% are doctors who are doing a new space, a brand new space.
Okay.
We do have several clients across the country that we do a lot of remodels for or have remodeled in the past. So we don't mind it. We just feel like for some reason, either it's our portfolio or the referral sources, people just say, I'm starting fresh here. Let's just kind of like create this vision and we're going to run forward with it.
And sometimes it's expensive to just remodel. It's more cost effective to just find a new space and do whatever you want.
Yeah. But we also have those clients who are like, look, Corey and Rebecca, we don't want to move any walls, but what would it, how would you revision this office?
Facelift.
How can we freshen it up?
Yeah, new floor, paint colors, maybe tweak the reception desk a little bit, maybe some new furniture in the waiting room.
Right.
So
Just little things you can do.
yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
we're talking a lot about kind of a doctor who's building a new space, but these philosophies really can pertain to an existing space as well.
Mhm.
It's really like, what can we do to improve the life of our staff? What can we do to improve the perception of our patient view of us? Because at the end of the day, I don't care what you say, but the doctor's personality always comes through in their office,
Mhm.
right?
And I love that.
Yeah, whether it's through the style or even just the artwork in your office. But we want to bring that into the space as well, because they do spend a lot of time there. It's their office.
It's
Yeah.
their home,
Yeah.
their second home, and the staffs as well. So
And we have encountered doctors who want to do a Taj Mahal space, right? To just really want to create this space that's way over the top.
Hmm.
And we really kind of ask them a lot of questions. We say, well, who's your clientele? And they're like, oh, we do a lot of Medicaid work. We're like, well, not necessarily the balance that you want to have here. What you want to do is your patients want to feel like they can afford to go to you, but they want
but
to,
how do we, okay,
Yeah.
so let's take a little Taj Mahal and we'll just put a little sprinkle of it. But
Yeah.
to make everybody feel comfortable and inviting, let's do something a little bit different. But we'll sprinkle a little Taj Mahal
yeah.
in there.
And we also ask about your budget too. A lot of times the Taj
Yeah.
Mahal is squashed when you don't have a unlimited construction budget. I
For
don't,
Italian marble.
yeah, imported from Italy, right? Yeah. And we don't think,
Doesn't even, it's like you don't even need that. So I'm always.
right. Yeah. I was going to say, we try to discourage like over design. It's not necessary. It's,
I don't want you to be over budget.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
And it's so easy to be over budget just
Mhm.
with simple things, upgrading your countertops from a simple laminate to a solid surface,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're an extra 15 or 20 grand bill. So you just have to be considerate, and that's a job as a professional, in this industry, is to help educate our clients. I feel like that's what we do the most. Our design process is more of a collaboration.
Mhm.
We interview the clients, we understand their goals and objectives, and then we educate them through the process.
Mhm. I want to work together. I'm your assistant. I'm here to just put what's in your brain onto paper. Like, let's get it done, or into a reality. So
Yeah.
it's really
Would,
cool.
would you guys mind if I shared your website? Is that okay?
Oh, I think so. I mean,
I want to share some of the designs here.
Yes, but we do need to update our website.
we have so much more new work on there.
We
that-
get so busy that it's just like, oh, we have this one, this one, this one. Because,
Yeah.
some of these are from 5-7 years ago.
well, our work is timeless.
Well, I think it's fun. I think
Yeah.
a lot of our work is fun. I think a lot of, we try to make it cozy. Like, some things aren't 100%.
Mm,
No, and
Even a simple bathroom can be elegant.
yeah.
be fun, like let's throw some, different things in there. So, or just, like that front desk is a wood tile, because it's orthodontics. And so we just wanted it to be really hardcore at that front desk.
Love
So
the
just
floor.
little things,
Let's say Crown Council members are toying with this idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know you mentioned that you do it all across the country.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that process of, are people coming to you and saying, hey, is this possible? And then you work through some of it, or what, do you want Crown Council members to reach out to you? What's best for, for you guys?
Yeah, so because we are really kind of regulated to the design side of a project, we
Mhm.
always encourage all of our clients who are around the country to, and we can help them find local professionals. So we like to have a local architect, and we
Okay.
like to have local general contractors involved in the project. So where we can design from a high level here from Austin, Texas, we provide that information to a local architect who will create the permit drawings and seal it for permitting, because every jurisdiction across the country has slightly different rules and regulations for construction. It really boils down to what we call life safety. But from a high level design point of view, it's super easy. You know, we just need to know what the boundaries are of their space, whether it's a remodel or new construction. We interview the client and kind of figure out what their tastes are and their expectations. And then we kind of move through the process where we interview them and we kind of look at their Pinterest account so we can understand their identity. And then from there, we kind of just work through it and do design. We use the same computer programs that architects do across the country.
Mhm.
And that way they kind of hire us as a professional designer with dental experience. And we hire local architects who are familiar with dental, but also know the local permitting process to get them done, expedited the process faster.
Nice.
And Corey uses a 3D program. So
Yes,
it
yeah.
looks amazing. You can really see what it's going to look like. And, you know, he's great about adjusting it mid-meeting. So you can kind of
Yeah.
see things moving around.
Yeah, we like
So-
to design virtually now. So, you know,
Mhm.
we're trying to embrace technology as well. And the ultimate goal is where our clients potentially could have a VR headset and we could literally on a Zoom call walk
Whoa.
through the space and change the flooring material and the wall colors virtually with them in the process.
Mhm.
Currently, we're still waiting for that technology, but we do a very similar thing on Zoom where we can actually 3D model it right in front of them. Working with Rebecca, we can, you know, like that wall behind you, that's brick. We can show a brick feature wall if we want with their logo on it. So we're very, we think that we're very kind of collaborative, and during the design process, we can really show them lots of options.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
so
guys, awesome. With the recording of this video, we'll put your contact information, but in the meantime, this is the website. So studio/gale.com.
Uh-huh.
Is that the best way to get in touch with you guys, or what? Is there a better
We
way?
also have Instagram. So, you know, our Instagram, we're on and off it quite a bit. I need to, you know, upload more, but, you know,
Yeah.
we're really proud of it. We've worked on it for a really long time.
Yeah, our Instagram is really more easily kind of updatable. Have lots of projects on there.
We've just had so many projects that it just.
What? Look at this.
Yeah, that's an orthodontist office.
Oh boy.
He's a sneakerhead, and this is we're actually under construction at his second location now. He was able to blow up his business, and he sees like I think it's over 720 patients a week now.
He had a
Wow.
DJ booth.
Yeah,
And
he has a-
there's that one. If you go bottom right, it's
This
there.
one?
Yeah, there's the DJ booth.
Full-time DJ.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
it's just fun.
goodness.
I mean, that's what he wanted, and
Mhm.
we wanted to give it to him, like, as you know, and he and Corey really
And that's-
collabed really
Yeah.
well.
And that's the beauty of our process is that I take my taste out of the picture completely, and Rebecca does as well. And through the interview
I can't
process,
say you take your taste out of the process. He
Well,
does, you know, because
yeah.
you know, designers are designers.
yeah. But what I like to do is I like to really kind of have my clients' tastes shine through in their project. You know, we try to really kind of understand
Mhm.
their overall design intent, and we try to really knock it out of the park, thinking out of the box, if you will.
Yeah, well,
So
because
every office does not have a shoe display.
no,
That's right.
If you-
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you looked at the first post on the Instagram, it is a woman-owned business and it's very soft. And I love that one too. So it's just, we can do anything, you know, sneakerhead, soft, beautiful. So
Yeah. The idea is that we just want their office to be just this amazing space that patients feel relaxed. Your
that they're
staff
happy to go to.
your staff loves to go to work, and that you're proud of
Mhm.
is really at the end of the day. Those are the three goals of what we do.
Very cool.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I hope we can develop a little. The goal was to develop maybe a future 3 or 4 part series of podcasts of start to finish, right? Building a practice and learning from you that some expertise and what to do if that's the direction that a Crown Council dentist or any dentist wants to go.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, we would love to be part of that program with you, and we would love to kind of
Share.
share our insight and educate anyone that we can possibly do it.
It's a lot.
Fun.
It's too much to know all by yourself. So having a team is really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
well, we appreciate you guys. So fun. The serendipity of connecting. It was really
I
cool
know.
to be with you guys. Yes. So
It's awesome. Yeah,
thank you. Thanks for being on the live stream, and hopefully a lot more to come. So thank you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much
you
for
very
having
much.
us.
definitely. We'll
Okay,
talk
guys.
soon.
Thank you. We'll see you
Thank you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, bye. What a job. That's a cool job. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. I can't hear you, Gregor.
They also seem just
Looks
like
like-
really nice people, the kind of people you'd like to work with.
Yeah, definitely.
Enthusiastic about their
feel
job.
really
Very fun.
fun. And so officially, they are not Crown Council Resource Partners. Hopefully, that will be coming soon as they are evaluating a bit about if it's a good fit for getting more business. They're already so busy and have so many clients across the country. So Corey said, reach out, connect with